of people want to know what the most popular Pokemon is, but a lot of people aren't willing to do the legwork to find out. Recently, I made a video where I asked 17,000 people what the most popular Pokemon would be. What is their favorite?
I asked.
And it eventually came out to 2.7 million votes and 17,000 participants. That's a lot of votes. Now, my method probably wasn't the best way of doing it. I would list every single Pokemon and they would just say whether or not they like it or not for every single one. So most people didn't complete all the Pokemon because there's 1,000 of them and that would be ridiculous, obviously. But we have a different method that has been used by Thomas Game Docs. I'm interested to see what the difference is between my results, which, spoiler alerts, this is kind of what it looked like at the end, between the top and most of the Pokemon that people liked, and what Thomas's results will be as well. So let's find out.
So 2 years ago, I made a video trying to find the least popular Pokemon in the world. I used Google search data to do it. The Pokemon who were searched for most frequently were the most popular.
Although, of course, that does depend on, what's popular in the meta, what the most popular Pokemon generally are, like, of course, what the most well-known Pokemon are, but, of course, the most well-known ones aren't necessarily the most popular, they're just the most well-known by the normies. We want to figure out, like, what the most popular ones are by the people that enjoy the series pretty regularly.
Ones who were almost never searched for must be the least popular, right? Except that's not
necessarily
quite true.
Of course, you have like nostalgia bias, you have recency bias. Like a Generation 8 Pokemon isn't going to be searched as much as a Generation 9 one because Scarlet and Violet is newer. People are more concerned about that now.
The number one most searched Pokemon in the world is Pikachu.
Shocker.
But while Pikachu is certainly the most well-known Pokemon in terms of how liked,
I mean, Pikachu's cool, but he's not as cool as Subnoodle. He's not as cool as Subnoodle, right, Subnoodle? Right, guys? Subnoodle's not a Pokemon, though, so obviously he won't be included in today's list, very sadly.
Popular he is, Pikachu actually comes in 65th place.
What?
But I'm jumping ahead a little. In order to truly find the most and least popular Pokemon, I put together a website where people could vote for which Pokemon they liked.
Wow, this is a much different method to the one that I used. Is it gonna bring much different results? Will it bring the same results? I don't know. I'm really interested to find out.
Over the course of about a week, over 1.6 million votes were recorded. So in this video, I'll go through the results of the data. We'll take a look at the top and bottom of the list to discover which Pokemon are the most and least popular of all.
And is it the same as my list that I made previously? Now, obviously, like I had a bottom of the list as well. We had the ones that we confined basically to jail at the bottom here. So we're going to see, are we going to see Hypno at the bottom? Are we going to see Illumise? Are we going to see Licky Licky? Are we going to see Enamorus? Or does the different voting method mean that you get slightly different results?
Let's go.
Interesting stuff. I don't know. We're going to see.
Part 1, the method. Right, so before we get to the ranking, we need to quickly walk through the method behind the madness. Earlier this year, I ran a similar project to find out which Animal Crossing villagers were the most popular. To do so, I created this voting website, which I don't know any of these people from the ground up.
Is Octavian a bloody tentacle squid creature? Oh, Pinky! It's like a pink version of Subnoodle! Woo! Let's go, Subnoodle!
And it worked. Mostly. The website crashed and glitched out a couple of times, so this time round, I wanted something a little more robust.
Wait, how many Animal Crossing villages can there possibly be?
And so, I worked together with a member of my Patreon community called Luke to rewrite the whole system from the ground up.
Let's go, Luke!
The front-end code, which is the stuff you see when you visit the site. And Luke worked on the back end, which is the code that saves all of the votes to a database. Describing it like that makes our workloads sound fairly equal, but in truth, Luke put a huge amount of time into this website.
Yeah, back-end stuff can be very complex and difficult to work with. Front-end stuff, obviously still tough. But if you're designing the website, once you have the idea of how you want things to look down, it's just a case of putting things together. Obviously, things can go wrong, but then you have to connect it to the back end as well, which I assume is quite difficult.
Sure, we didn't face the problems that my shoddy code led to last time round. Now, as for which Pokemon I included in the ranking, it's pretty simple. Every Pokemon with its own Pokédex number made it in, but to keep...
Oh no! no mega evolutions. What do you mean?
Simple, regional, and gender variations without their own Pokédex ID were excluded.
Yeah, okay. I would never separate gender differences. Oh, I guess there's like Meowstic and stuff like that where you could separate because they're actually like quite substantial gender differences. But that's fair enough to keep them out.
That means.
I mean, whose favorite Pokemon is male Meowstic? I don't care. That's gonna be that one. That's gonna be that one guy. Oh, I really like male Meowstic. My favorite Pokemon is a Psychic Cat, which is kind of cool actually. Psychic Cats are pretty cool. But then you think about it, Mew's kind of a cat, so like, why don't you just like a bald cat? You ever touch one of those bald cats before? They feel weird. They have fuzz on them. They're not completely bald. It's not just skin. They have a little bit of fuzz. I went to a cat cafe and they were there once. It's very strange. Very strange. What am I talking about?
We have 1,025 Pokemon in total to rank, which is no small number. And so, after the site was up and running, I sent out the link on YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, and more. And by a week or so later, over 1.6 million votes had been submitted.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Really
well, I mean, it's not a lot. Okay, it's not a lot of people individually. It's a lot of votes. If you assume that there's like, I don't know, you could do 10,000 people at 1.6 million votes, and that would be 16 votes per person. Nope. 660 votes per no? 1,600 votes per Sorry, mathematics is really difficult.
Incredible. Luke and I worked to organize all of that voting data. Actually, it was mainly Luke. And so now I have a nice ranked list of all 1,025 Pokemon, from least to most popular.
Nice.
I'll start with the least popular.
Is 160 votes per person. Sorry. Got it.
20. And then we can move on to the most popular ones. Let's get ranking.
All right, how does it compare? Let's see. Is Hypno at the bottom?
The bottom 20.
I mean, I was gonna get No, I like Gerda.
From the bottom is Gerda, the muscular Pokemon. Now, Gerda was introduced in Gen.
It's because he looks like he takes roids, which he probably does. He looks very vascular. In fact, he literally looks like someone that takes some kind of performance enhancements.
5, which for the first time attempted to start fresh with a brand new set of Pokemon populating the game's Pokédex.
That's so sad. I love Gerda.
Previous games can only be found once you complete the story.
Does anyone love Gerda?
Game Freak had to design a huge number of new Pokemon, more than in any other generational leap. And while a lot of those Pokemon are great, and we'll be seeing a few in the top 20,
He's kind of ugly. I think that's why. I think he's just ugly. I think a lot of the monsters people don't like are just ugly.
Also some that aren't.
A lot of Pokemon that people like just comes down to vibes and design.
Quite so beloved.
Like, I don't think anyone's going to be liking Rellor.
Including Gerda.
I think Rellor's going to be like right near the bottom.
19th from the bottom is Vullaby.
There you go. The diaper. There you go. A bird, quite an ugly bird, a bald-headed bird that's wearing a nappy. Not going to be enjoyed by many people, is it?
Who was introduced in Gen 5. Vullaby is known as the diapered Pokemon, and indeed appears to be wearing an eggshell as a diaper.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this idea was executed.
It has a heart on it?
Per se. I think
like,
it's
why
just
does it have a
not
heart on
a
it?
great idea in the first place.
Yeah, just kind of ugly.
Up, 18.
I get Squawkabilly. I mean, Squawkabilly. Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like it's trying too hard to be Chatot.
From the bottom is Squawkabilly, one of a number of bird-like Pokemon. Squawkabilly was only recently introduced to the series
it's not
in
bad
Pokemon
design,
Scarlet
by any
and
means.
Violet, and it really fails to make much of an impact. There's a pretty large number.
And it is kind of everywhere as well. They just got all those different colors, and it's like, what's the point,
bird-like Pokemon, and Squawkabilly doesn't really do anything to set itself apart from the others. 17th on the list is Cascoon.
Fair. I prefer Cascoon to Silcoon. Oh no, actually no, I don't. I really hate pointed edges. Pointed edges make me really uncomfortable.
A bug-type Pokemon from Gen 3. Now, Cascoon's design is really not very interesting. It evolves from Whirlpool, who is a perfectly fine caterpillar-like Pokemon, and it evolves into Dustox, who's a pretty cool moth or butterfly.
Dustox is cool. Dustox is better than Beautifly, certainly.
Cascoon is stuck in the middle. Heck, when its spikes retract, it literally looks like a ball with eyes.
I mean, what was Silcoon? Do we include Silcoon here? I mean, it is technically a completely different Pokemon. Crabtominable! Wait, why do I keep putting D's into it? Crabominable. Crabominable.
Yes, we have Crabominable.
Crabominable. There's no duh. Why do I keep putting does in there? What am I doing?
From a naming perspective, Crabominable is great, I think. But its unevolved form, Crabrawler, has a much
ugly.
more appealing character design.
I mean, he kind of just looks like Glass Joe from Punch-Out.
While Crabominable's dual ice and fighting type is interesting,
I think it's the teeth. People don't like those buck
it
teeth.
doesn't really
Oh, but then SpongeBob. Maybe I'm wrong.
make for a strong fighter. 15th from the bottom is Basculin,
Yeah,
the
I don't like
Gen
Basculin.
5 fish Pokemon.
Basculegion, sick. Regular Basculin, don't even look at me.
So Basculin is another unpopular Gen 5 Pokemon, and according to Pokemon designer Ken Sugimori, it was created because of a lack of fish in the Gen 5 Pokedex.
Okay, well, I mean, like, okay, sure, there's a lack of fish, but you want to do something a bit better than that?
But that lack of other fish means that when you go fishing,
If it evolves, then great. I mean, they fixed that way later on. They added 156 new Pokemon in Generation 5. They couldn't slip in one more just to make this
in a
bearable.
puddle, lake, or the sea, Basculin is often all you end up with. And Basculin has no evolutions in Pokemon Black and White, although Pokemon Legends Arceus added Basculegion,
Which
who
is sick.
Undeniably pretty cool looking. In 14th place, we have Illumise.
Oh, wait. Okay, I think this is the first Pokemon. Yes, Illumise is on the list. So we have our first one. All right, first match.
One of a pair of Firefly Pokemon. Illumise is the female counterpart to the male Volbeat. And to be frank, neither of these Pokemon is very liked.
I don't think I've ever used an Illumise before.
Illumise doesn't really resemble a Firefly at all, and its design is just nondescript all round.
It's also ugly. Like, it looks like it's trying to wear a suit. Just has a big ass head. Looks like it's wearing headphones. So what you listen to those headphones? What's going on?
13th from the bottom.
Oh, an Amorous. Okay. So we have another match. That's two. Wow. All right. Maybe there is some connection here. I don't dislike an Amorous as much as other people dislike an Amorous. I really don't. I think that an Amorous is like not great, but like not terrible. Kind of reminds me of Darth Maul a little bit with the head spikes there.
Is
Got a little love
Enamorous,
coming out
one
of
of
it.
the 4 Forces of Nature Pokemon. Originally, this was a trio introduced in Pokemon Black and White, but
And then they were like, oh no, we forgot to put a femboy in the freaking trio.
in Legends Arceus, a 4th Pokemon was added to the group, that being Enamorous. Sadly, Enamorous hasn't really been embraced in the same way as the other Forces of Nature. Perhaps that's due to Enamorous's overcomplicated and not especially appealing design.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's a lot going on there. It's not great.
Therian
Jesus.
form. Scary. Next
What
up,
is that?
number 12 is Mastiff, a
I think that's recency de-bias. I like Mastiff. Mastiff is a good boy. He seems like one of those dogs that you hear about in the news all the time where it's like, yes, this XL bully Mastiff has just mauled 17 children. We have to ban them now. But it's like, oh, well, no, my XL bully Mastiff is bloody great. He's lovely. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
dog Pokemon
As he's like gnawing on the remains of a duck, it's just mauled.
introduced in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Wait, why am I That didn't sound like I was defending it. I actually kind of like
Being
Mastiff.
a Gen 9 Pokemon, Mastiff's not had a lot of time to enamor
good
itself
boy.
to Pokemon fans.
Enamor.
And this dog Pokemon just doesn't do a whole lot to stand out either. It's a dog, and not much more.
Mastiff seems like it's got a lot of anxiety.
In 11th place,
Oh, hey, there's another match as well. Well, Mastiff wasn't on my list, but Volbeat absolutely was on my list. So, pretty good.
we have Volbeat, the male counterpart to Illumise, who we talked about a moment ago. Volbeat also doesn't really have much connection to its Firefly theme, and it has the less appealing design of the duo as well.
It just doesn't do anything. It'd be cool if they fused together and created like an actual good
And
Pokemon.
now we're down to the
Oh,
bottom 10
Frigibax.
Pokemon. In 10th place is Frigibax, a dragon ice-type Pokemon introduced in Scarlet and Violet.
I guess it's just a bit ugly is really the thing. It's just quite
Now,
ugly.
when you think of a dragon-type Pokemon, you picture Dragonite, Rayquaza, Pokemon with super cool-looking designs. But while Frigibax does eventually evolve into Baxcalibur, Frigibax itself has a really ugly-looking design.
It's
not
really gross.
exactly
Massive
giving
nose.
Regal dragon
Nose long like garden hose.
vibes. Number 9 is Flittle, another
Also ugly.
bird-like Pokemon introduced in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Unlike Squawkabilly, which is based on a full-grown parrot, Flittle is based on a bird chick, which is fine, but this design is just
What's with the bottom half of Flittle? I just don't understand what's going on
quite
there.
bizarre. Is it a UFO?
It is, isn't it?
A chick? A frilly orb?
Is it an egg that the Pokemon has just morphed onto the outside of and just consumed the egg, and the egg is now the body?
That confusing form
What's
factor,
going on there?
combined with a slightly strange face, add up to an unpopular Pokemon overall.
Yeah, it's just ugly.
8th from
Vibes.
the bottom is
Oh, we hate Watchog. Get him out of here. Go on, get him out. We don't like Watchog. I can't believe he's not on this list, honestly. I'd really put Watchog on that list.
Watchog, the lookout Pokemon. In my previous video about unpopular Pokemon, I discovered that Watchog was the Pokemon who was searched for on Google the least often. In other words,
Yeah, he sucks.
this is a pretty forgettable Pokemon.
I mean, what reason does anyone have to search for Watchog now? It's not even in the new games. It's from Generation 5. It's just a copy of the other, like, Route 1 normal types that is pretty forgettable. The only reason you'd have to search for Watchog is if you're really, really stuck on Lenora for some reason. You're playing black and white.
And it seems, in terms of raw popularity too, this Gen 5 high-vis jacket-wearing rodent ranks right near the
And he's just a
bottom.
dickhead. Look at him, he's just a dickhead.
Number 7 is
Oh.
Blipbug, the
Shove him in the
lava
locker and be
Pokemon.
done.
I think in the context of Blipbug's evolutionary line, this
I mean, listen, Orbeetle is sick. Oh my god, this reminds me of Okaroon from Dandadan. He starts off as like this nerd who's like not very cool, and then spoilers for like, I don't know, the first couple of episodes in Dandadan. And then he turns into like kind of sick and like way cooler with a deeper
Pokemon's
voice.
design is actually
And that's
quite
Orbeetle.
interesting. But if you take Blipbug on its own, well, it just doesn't look very appealing. Plus, Blipbug's role as a
Oh,
very
his shiny's not
basic
bad. I mean, not
early-game
good.
Pokemon means it often gets forgotten once players evolve it into a Dottler or Orbeetle.
He just looks like he should be kicked.
In 6th place is Capsakid,
Another ugly child. Another kickable, bootable
a
creature.
Gen 9 Pokemon based on spicy peppers. And that's a great name. Capsaicin is the name of the chemical found in chili peppers, which makes them taste spicy. But that spicy pepper theme just...
I was gonna make a joke about white people being like, spicy, I don't like that. But I was like, but I love spicy food though. I love eating spicy food all the time. I love eating spicy food. It's so tasty. So I can't really make that joke because I'm about as white as they come. Just look at me. Look at me. I'm white, ginger, got blue eyes. I'm as white as they come. You'd expect me to be like, excuse me, is that one chili? Sorry, I might die if I look at that.
doesn't come through at all in the design. Capsakid just looks odd, and might be too new to really have made a deep impression on players. 5th from the
Is a bit
bottom
odd.
is Smoochum, the kissing-themed Pokemon from
And this is reflective of the Pokemon community's lack of kissing.
Gen 2. Smoochum is kind of a weird themed Pokemon. I'm not sure what prompted Game Freak to create a baby-faced Pokemon that just loves to kiss.
Yeah, that is a bit weird. I guess kids will run around sometimes and like kiss each other and they're like, ew, don't kiss me, it's so gross. I guess, but like, yeah, when you consider that an adult is making these creatures, it's a bit odd. It's not a criminal, it's not illegal, it's just a bit odd.
Plus, Smoochum is the baby pre-evolution of Jinx, who has famously been embroiled in controversy over the years. Smoochum's weird design, combined with its association with Jinx, have netted it a ranking of 5th from the bottom. The 4th least popular Pokemon
People don't
is
like Monkey Dory. Wait, that's so funny. Why do people not like Monkey Dory? I guess, again, it might just come down to vibes. He has a bit of a weird design. Like his whole body looks like a rectangle, but kind of narrows at the end. He doesn't really look that good. Yeah, I mean, the other two have much better designs. I'd say Pheasantipity and Okidoki certainly probably have more fans than Monkey Dory does. And Monkey Dory isn't generally very good either. Monkey Dory is quite bad. It has a weird type in. It doesn't really do much. and it just doesn't look very good.
Now, Monkey Dory was introduced in the Teal Mask DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which makes this Pokemon one of the most recently added on the list. Its design, a combination of monkey-like features and poison typing, clearly didn't quite resonate with fans
it just
who
doesn't
played
vibes.
the DLC.
No vibes.
And for those who didn't, well, they just don't know who this guy is. Third on the list is...
Also, yes, I do forget that if you're in the DLC, then there's a much higher chance that people just don't know what you are. Binacle, again, just ugly.
Binacle,
Straight up ugly.
The two-handed Pokemon from Gen 6. This Pokemon is just so weird looking. It's apparently based on goose barnacles, but these things look more like claws with faces on them to me.
Yeah, it's
and the fact
it's
that
gross.
there's 2 of these barnacles sprouting from a rock, I really can't imagine what the designers of this Pokemon were going for, but
Yeah, the more I learn about this fella, the less I like
the
him.
final result...
You know what? The more I learn about code Patterrz saving me money at Gamer Subs, the more I like that. So you can use code Patterrz at Gamer Subs. You can get so many freaking things. You can get all the merchandise that you want. You can get all of the delicious flavors that you want. You can try it for free. There's free samples. You can get wonderful anime waifus. And if you don't want anime waifus, then you can just get like muscled men on a cup. And if you don't want any of that, then you can get a more, I don't know, normal design as well. There's so many designs, and you should use code Patterrz. I'm just saying you should use code Patterrz if you do.
is really...
I wonder, was Binacle on my list as well? It was. A Lowland Dog Trio is at the bottom. Okay, I'm kind of annoyed by that.
visually off-putting. Second from the bottom is Bruxish.
Just
a
ugly.
Very
There's so many kissing mons that people just don't like Enamorous, Smoochum, Bruxish. People just don't like smoochins. They just don't like it. The
weird-looking
Gnash Teeth
fish
Pokemon?
Pokemon from Sun and Moon. Bruxish is widely disliked for its unsettling design, its exaggerated, colourful fish face.
I think they make mons like this just for fun. They do this. They just sit down and they're like, what kind of freaky, disgusting creature can we make this time?
Sharp teeth come across more creepy than cute. This Pokemon is apparently based on the reef triggerfish, which is the state fish of Hawaii. But
Okay.
while the real-life version of this fish looks pretty cool, the Pokemonified version
Why do
just
they give it
looks
lips?
unappealing.
Why does it have lips,
Finally,
man? What are you
the least
doing?
popular Pokemon of all is
Oh God. Okay. Before he announces it, I'm going to make a prediction. I think that it is... I think it's Gumshoes. Or it's Wormadam. Burmy? Oh, there's so many options. Ooh, that's a tough one. Spooper? I mean, people don't like Spooper. No one's choosing Spooper. Surely. Oh God, this is tough. You know, I'm going to say it's Spooper.
Relor.
Oh, I forgot I said Rello. I said Rello right at the start, and I completely forgot that I'd said that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's a dung beetle. Like, come on. It's as clear cut as you get.
Relor is
Absolutely.
a dung beetle Pokemon who was introduced in Gen 9, and I feel like that covers a lot.
Dude, he just looks like an absolute creep. He rolls a ball of dung. He's a beetle. Nobody likes those. They're gross. They look like a cockroach. They're disgusting. There's absolutely... He looks like he is a sex offender cockroach. What more can you ask for?
Why
No one
is
likes this.
Pokemon ranked at the very bottom of the list. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were controversial games, to say the least, so a lot of Gen 9 Pokemon ranked fairly low down. But putting that aside, the concept of a dung beetle Pokemon is obviously not super
The dung looks like it has maggots
Relor's
inside of it.
design is
Ugh.
somehow ugly, but also much less memorable than other Pokemon like Bruxish. So
Its
there we
evolution
have
is kinda
the
cool,
bottom
though.
20 Pokemon of the list. Now,
I
let's go
despise
through
this
the
thing.
Top 20
I don't even want to kick it because then you get the dung all over yourself. All right, we got the top 10, 20 most popular Pokemon, which, I mean, we're going to have to compare that to this list over at the top here. Now, obviously, we have Mega Evolutions on this, so we're just going to have to try and discount the Mega Evolutions as much as we can, but we have, like, a good amount of Pokemon that we can take a look at here.
most popular Pokemon.
I think it's going to be
Part
very
3,
similar.
The top 20. In 20th place, we
Cyndaquil.
have Cyndaquil, the
Okay,
Gen 2
I feel like
starter.
Cyndaquil would be
Cyndaquil's
here.
design is cute, but that fiery blaze gives it a bit of an edge. It
Or maybe
evolves
not.
into Typhlosion.
Cyndaquil actually wasn't in A. It looks like it was in B. So we had S tier, like the top tier, we had A tier, and then we had like the B tier below that. Because we can see Totodile there, and it was done in generation order. So Totodile is there, and Cyndaquil is not immediately on screen then. Well, I guess, well, Eevee's also there. So maybe maybe I'm an idiot. No, I mean, I definitely can't see Cyndaquil anywhere here in the A tier. So it looks like that's off. That's not really correct just yet.
And has absolutely nothing else worth noting about. And
People just love Cyndaquil.
Returned as a starter in Legends Arceus more recently too.
And they got another evolution
19th,
too.
We have Rowlet, another starter
Let's go!
Pokemon, this
I
time
love
from
Rowlet.
Gen 7. Generally, the more recently introduced starter Pokemon don't come close to the popularity enjoyed by, say, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. But Rowlet's very cute character design propelled it forward to an unusual level of popularity.
Oh, I love Rowlet. It's so cute.
Is
wow.
Luxray.
Luxray is an interesting one. This is purely a vibes pick, 110%, because as much as I hate to say it, and I really hate to say it, Luxray is just not a good Pokemon to use. It's slow. It doesn't have enough power to be able to do it at once. Its move pool is not super limited, but it doesn't have the moves that it could use to do a little bit better. It's Mono Electric, which is good. It only has one weakness, has a good ability, but it's just too slow and doesn't do enough damage. And then it's just frail. It just goes down pretty easily, even with the Intimidate, unfortunately. So this is 110% a vibes pick, and that's totally fine because I love Luxray's vibes. I think Luxray's vibes are great.
This Pokemon was introduced in Gen 4, and it combines the cute element seen in Rowlet and Cyndaquil with more of a dark edge. I think it's because
it's like it has the best of both worlds. It's cute and being edgy at the same time.
It manages to bridge the gap between cute and cool, that this sleek-looking Pokemon appeals to a wide range of people. In 17th place, we have the
Gengar.
Mysterious trickster, Gengar.
We have Gengar, and we expect to see Gengar at the top.
Gengar feels like a true Pokemon mainstay. Again, he balances cute with more of a mischievous, darker side. Gengar has enjoyed numerous appearances in the anime, the games, even the Detective.
Oh, I hate how he looks in Detective Pikachu.
16th place, we have
Mewtwo. I mean, that is absolutely no surprise to anyone. Wait, where's guys? Where is Mewtwo? Where is Mewtwo? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's in the A tier. It's not in the S tier. No surprise to anyone that Mewtwo's up there.
Iconic Pokemon, Mewtwo. The very first Pokemon anime movie was all about Mewtwo's dark and tragic backstory. And in the first generation of Pokemon games, Mewtwo was the strongest Pokemon there was. And multiple decades later, Mewtwo still stands out among every other Pokemon.
I mean, he just has a sick design as well.
Number 15 is Lapras.
Wow, what?
Who's also been around.
Lapras, you know what? This really shocks me because Lapras isn't awesome. I guess Lapras just has a really, really good design. It's not very useful. It doesn't have a great type in. People, again, this might just be a vibes pick, straight up vibes pick. I mean, I do love Lapras, I will say. And Asteroid Videos, his favorite Pokemon is Lapras. And I am never going to go against Frank. He's a smart man. He knows what he's doing.
Gen 1, Lapras was a real workhorse, allowing players to surf their way across Kanto's waters. This Pokemon has a friendly-looking face and appeared frequently in the heyday of the Pokemon anime.
And a ton of the anime episodes, especially like the Orange Islands where you transport Ash around.
14th is Kyogre.
Oh yeah, Kyogre 100%. We see Kyogre up there too, right there, and we have the primal version in the S tier as well.
Gen
we love
3
Kyogre.
Legendary Pokemon. Kyogre appears on the game boxes for Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire.
I hope Groudon's also up there. I'm going to say, I think that Groudon has a better design than Kyogre does. I just think that. I really do. I know Kyogre's stronger than Groudon is, technically, but
all of Gen 3's super ancient legendaries are pretty darn popular. So
yeah, I would say this legendary trio here is as close as you can get to a flawless legendary trio. They're just great. That is absolutely perfect.
Make a mental note of that. In 13th is Mudkip, a beloved Gen 3 starter. I think that Mudkip has one of the cutest Pokemon designs, but don't let its friendly exterior fool you, as Mudkip eventually evolves into Swampert,
who is ugly.
Who can be a formidable opponent in battle.
Sorry, I would never say that about Swampert.
Oh, and in the mid-2000s, Mudkip was famously made into a meme, which was very widespread.
Hey, well, listen, the meme had a little bit of truth sprinkled into it, didn't it? People did like Mudkips.
12th on the list is...
What? Huh? Excusez-moi? Why in the goodness gracious me is Leafeon up there? Leafeon is not on my A tier. Is Leafeon on like the B tier? Chat, I'm going to be honest, for the life of me, I cannot find out where Leafeon is in this. What?
Leafeon, our first but not last evolution in...
Okay, I understand. I understand Umbreon. I understand Espeon. I understand Sylveon. I understand Jolteon. I understand Vaporeon. Maybe Flareon, not really Flareon. I don't really on the Glaceon. Don't really get that. Leafeon? What's happening
20.
here? What's going on?
Without spoiling the rest of the list too much, all of Eevee's various evolutions are extremely popular with fans. Leafeon, in particular,
they're all on it.
offers a planty take on Eevee's design.
Okay,
nice.
sure.
In 11th place is Lugia.
Yeah,
a legendary
Lugia.
from Gen 2.
Low-key, I hope that Lugia beats Ho-Oh. I hope that Ho-Oh is not in the top 20 because I like Lugia more than Ho-Oh.
Like Mewtwo,
Mostly just because I played Silver first when I was a child. I played Silver, I played Crystal, and I didn't play Gold. Well, I didn't play Silver first. I played Pokemon Blue first, and then I played Yellow, and then I played Silver, and then I played Crystal. I never played
Lugia
Gold.
had a movie all about them, which is how you know they're important. It's the mascot of 3 different Pokemon games.
Oh yeah, XD Gale of Darkness 2. Yeah, the Shadow Lugia.
Soul Silver, and also
So
Pokemon
sick.
XD Gale of Darkness.
It's so sick.
Lugia is a majestic and iconic legendary to this day. And
Big
that
hands.
brings us to the top
Yeah, there's
10.
Espeon.
In 10th place is Espeon, another
I feel like the rest of it is going to be legendaries, evolutions, and starters. There's not going to be anything else here. Except maybe like Dragonite.
evolution. Espeon was introduced in Gen 2 as one of 2 new evolutions, and
Wait, does that mean Ogerpon's not going to be in this? I love Ogerpon.
brings a sleek, mysterious, and super cool looking vibe to the Eevee family. Plus, Espeon has a major role in Pokemon Colosseum, which just helps to
Foreshadowing, because so does Umbreon.
propel this Pokemon into the top 10. In 9th place, we have Mew, the
Of course,
original
we all love Mew.
mystery of the Pokemon series. Gen 1 was advertised as having 150 different Pokemon, but in truth, an extra 151st Pokemon was sitting in the game's files, that being Mew. Initially, this Pokemon was only available at limited time real-life Pokemon events, but this secrecy led to all manner of rumors and playground legends about how to obtain Mew.
The sad thing is we're never going to get anything like that again, and it really breaks my heart.
Pokemon. Without Mew, those original Pokemon games might not have become as big
Does that mean Arcanine's not going to be on the list? Oh, I love Arcanine. It's my favorite
a
guy.
phenomenon as they did.
Oh, I hope Bulbasaur's on this. We're in the top 10.
on
We're
the
on outer
list
space.
is
What? What? You higher than Mew? I mean, don't get me wrong. Chandelure, sick. Really, really, really cool. Why is it's so high up? Number 9 of every single Mon? I mean, I'd like Chandelure, but higher than what, Lucario? I guess we're gonna find out.
A
Higher than Dragonite?
looking Pokemon which debuted in Gen 5. The reason for Chandelure's popularity is undoubtedly its super cool character design. The idea
Sure, I
of
mean,
a Pokemon
Chandelure is
based on a
cool.
haunted Chandelure.
I just don't get it. It didn't get any additional forms. It was introduced in Generation 5, which is a very long time ago, but people generally didn't like Generation 5 all that much.
Sounds a
So it's not really getting the nostalgia vote too much. It's I don't know
little
why.
strange, but in execution, it just works so well. Chandelure's not a starter, it's not a legendary, it's just got a great design.
I
In
just don't
7th,
understand how
we
it's... Oh, well, there's Lucario.
have Lucario. Lucario is perhaps most famous for its role as a fighter in the Super Smash Bros. Series.
What? No, it's not most famous for that.
Lucario has also had prominent appearances in the Pokemon anime and the film series, where Lucario gets a film of its own, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Just a super iconic and recognizable Pokemon all round. Next up, 6th
Razorquaz,
is Rayquaza.
baby! Oh, that means Groudon's not going to be on this, isn't it? That's what it means, doesn't it? Why the fuck is Chandelure on this and Groudon's
Another
not?
Gen 3
Where's
super
Ogerpon?
ancient legendary alongside Kyogre, who ranked 14th, and Groudon, who was a lot lower down the...
What? I am heartbroken. I am absolutely heartbroken. I can't believe, genuinely, I cannot believe this has happened. Oh, it's so funny. On my list, Groudon was, Primal Groudon was top tier. And I mean, if I look at, we'll see that Groudon is, Groudon, where is Groudon? Groudon is, aha, here we go. Groudon is in the A tier as well, along with Cyndaquil. Is this the A tier? Yeah, this is the A. It is the A tier, yes. Along with Cyndaquil, who I guess missed before because it was in the lower tier or the lower line. But yeah, people like Groudon. It was 105.
105th. So
does he make it to the top 10%?
Rayquaza in particular, the most popular of the trio? Well, Rayquaza has a super cool serpentine design for a start. Serpents are just pretty cool. Plus, as the third of the legendaries, Rayquaza is the mascot for Pokemon Emerald. He looks
weird in the Emerald box, I'm going to be honest.
In 5th place, we have Vaporeon, our
makes
third
sense.
evolution of the list.
Wait, so hold on. Surely we have the Kanto starters in the top 3. Like, surely that's where we land on that. But at the same time, that also leads Umbreon up there because Umbreon's obviously going to be here. And then where are we going to put Ogerpon?
Was one of the 3.
Is Ogerpon just too new? I know it's in the DLC, but I love Ogerpon.
3 original evolutions, having been introduced way back in Gen 1. That
means that Jolteon's probably not going to be in this either.
Gives this Pokemon a real nostalgic value for players. And combined with Vaporeon's simple yet elegant design, Vaporeon landed in 5th place. 4th on the list is not an evolution, but rather Eevee.
Wait, is Pikachu been on this list yet? Wait, where's Pikachu?
Eevee has long been a fan favorite Pokemon, particularly in Japan. And in recent years, the Pokemon Company has sought to leverage that popularity to turn Eevee from just a popular Pokemon into a mascot on the level of Pikachu.
I would love to know the sales data between Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, because the only real main difference between the two is the version exclusives and the starter, which the main reason that you're picking your version is because of the starter. I think I went with Let's Go Pikachu, but I feel like Let's Go Eevee, I don't know, I really want to know what the sales data was like on that.
Point, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Eevee can evolve into 8 different Pokemon, which gives Eevee a real level of adaptability too.
That's funny because actually its ability is adaptability.
In 3rd place, we have
Sylveon. What?
The most recent evolution, who was introduced in
Where the
Generation
fuck is Kanto?
6. With Pokemon X and Y, Game Freak introduced Fairy type, the first
Where's
new
Bulbasaur?
type since Gen 2. And with it, they created Sylveon, a Fairy type evolution. Sylveon has a cute pastel color palette and cute
Wait, Umbreon
design,
has to be on
but
this.
also packs a punch
Is there no Kanto starts in this?
battle. In 2nd place,
What? What is
the
happening?
runner-up is Mimikyu.
Am I being
In the
punked
years
right now?
since its introduction, Mimikyu has become extremely iconic within the Pokemon
Where's
fandom.
Charmander?
The tragic tale of a Pokemon so scary looking that it disguises itself as Pikachu in an
Mimikyu?
attempt to be loved.
Listen, I like Mimikyu. I really like Mimikyu. Mimikyu's great. It can't be number 2,
Doesn't
surely.
resonate about that. And with the addition of an extremely catchy song, Mimikyu has shown that the best way to ride.
Wait, so is Pikachu going to be number 1? Like, where's the Kanto starters? Where's Umbreon? Is Umbreon going to be 1? Pikachu Janai, Mimikyu Dayo. Oh, it just means I'm not Pikachu, I'm Mimikyu.
Rival Pikachu's popularity is to become a literal knockoff of Pikachu. And it works. You can't help but love poor old Mimikyu. And
Wait,
finally,
so what's number 1?
in 1st place, the most popular Pokemon of all
Where's
is
Umbreon?
Umbreon. When Umbreon was
fuck
first
is
introduced
Charizard?
in Gen 2, the Dark type was brand new.
Blastoise!
With only 6 Pokemon of this type in the game.
Venusaur!
Umbreon was the first pure
What happened?
Dark type Pokemon.
I want to see all the results.
And the only Dark type.
Like, I get it. Umbreon being the most popular, that makes sense. Where's Greninja? I want to. Are there all of the results? No. No. Are all the results here? Check out my part 2 ranking Pokemon game. Frick. They're not here. Damn it.
That Umbreon came out on top. With an astonishingly high win rate, of 7.
Oh, so they're comparing the win rate. So it's comparing, like, when you put it up against another Pokemon, how often does this Pokemon win? And Umbreon won 79.5% of the time, which is just a crazy result.
79.5%.
What about
That means
Bulbasaur?
that for every 5 times Umbreon was shown to users, it won 4 times. Wow. So there we
impressive.
have it. The most and least popular Pokemon in the world.
I need to know.
I've only covered 40 Pokemon in this video. To see the full list,
Dude, wait.
you can go to thomasgamedocs.com/Pokemon.
Oh, you can? Oh, cool. Okay. All right, gang, we got the full results up here now. Where's freaking Bulbasaur's 28, which is the highest Cantonian starter. Then it's Gardevoir, Giratina, Jolteon. Is Decidueye ranked higher than Bulbasaur? You know, Lunala being up here is so based. I love that so much. That's actually so sick. Ninetales is up here. Ninetales ranked up. Wait, where's Charizard? Hold on. Charizard's 102! What? What is happening here? Was that Spheal beat Charizard? Porygon and Forit beat Charizard? Miss Magius beat Charizard? Wait, these results are so funny. Oh my god, these results are so funny. And no one cares about Relo. Literally no one cares about Relo. Jesus Christ. Oh my days. I mean, this makes sense a lot, Generation 5, but wow, all right. Well, please subscribe to Thomas Game Docs. Their link will be in the description. And if you want to see more of my dumb face, you can always subscribe here as well.